Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. Let's talk about Survivor 40 Winners at War, shall we? Because this episode was so crazy.
This episode, laughing, crying. But
Honestly.
first, if you are new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And if you want to support us on Patreon, there's a link in the description. Okay.
Oh, David.
Sarah.
So good. So good.
Oh, my God. I mean, these producers and editors know how to tell a story across a season. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, this was the end of a story arc that was so satisfying.
Right. Now you get it. Now at the end of this, I was like, aha, I see why in episode 2 we spent so much time with Adam getting his torch in a non-existent hole.
Just
now we
building it up for us. Thank you so much. It's so satisfying.
It is.
But we're starting back at camp following the Wendell blindside, which was also a Michelle and a Nick blindside. And Michelle is not happy about being blindsided because she wanted Wendell out too. She's like, why did you leave me out of this? Like, I definitely would have voted for him.
She was like, hello, I've been telling you guys, and which was what I said last week. I was like, I just wanted Michelle to be the one, but no, she got left out of it.
Oh my God. And she's like, I hate these bumbling, stumbling idiots. You know, like they are just on fire against everybody else on the tribe because, of course, they're butthurt about being left out of the vote. Yeah. And Tony is the one who comes over and is kind of trying to reason with Nick, but Nick's just a little too hot in this moment.
Yeah, I loved it. Tony was like, you know how to play this game. You know, stop it. This isn't how you behave. And I was like, oh, all right. We just tell people you know how to play this game.
Right.
But it was true. We said it last week. We were like, that's not how yes, you're mad about a vote, but like, you got to be like, oh, cool. You voted Wendell out and didn't tell me about it.
Nice job. Good move. You guys did that. Good job. Good job. But Nick's like ready for revenge. And, you know.
Then we get one of the most fun things in this episode, a little tidbit from Adam saying, did you notice that fleur-de-lis on the podium?
Because Denise had an idol. She had an idol earlier this season, and that was a fleur-de-lis.
It was a fleur-de-lis? So, I think that's something. And I'm like, oh, where are we going with this, Adam? Because this is amazing.
I know. Absolutely. He's like, I think that's a live idol. So I might have to grab that thing. Okay. I might just have to test that out. I'm like, okay, let's see where this goes.
Yes. Please do it.
Yeah.
Okay, then we go over to Edge.
Yeah.
Edge of Extinction.
Yul gets a clue, and so he hands out the clues, and it's about history repeating itself. What does that mean? Must be all of the clues we've gotten so far, right?
Immediately, that's their first thought. What are the clues we've gotten so far? Obviously, we got to go to the top of this mountain. That's like the first thing they always do. We got to go to the top.
I mean, it's a good guess. Yeah.
I mean, I would try anything else before I went to the top of the mountain. I'd be like, what else can I do down here?
Yeah. What can we do things on the way up before we get there?
Why the top? Why?
Right.
But then I loved Natalie's strategy. She's like, let's split up. I'm going with Rob. Natalie and Rob, we're gonna go together.
Right. Wendell,
Yul and Wendell.
You're good. You guys are good.
You guys are fine. Go over there.
Go together. I know, it's so good. But then it's Danny, I think, who's like, what if it's history of Extinction Island? Yeah, Danny and Parvati. And Danny, I think, mentions at first, like, what if it's something from the last season? And Parvati's like, Aubrey found something on the steps, which I was like, okay, these people have done their research on these recent seasons.
Meanwhile, David and I are like, who was it that did that one thing that one time?
Oh my God. Yes, I know.
Yeah, no, Parvati's like, Aubrey, what she did was she stepped back and she saw it on the steps. So they basically do that. And I was like, yes, be that, be this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
they found it. So she reaches
like,
in.
Holes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she got it. And it was the 50-50 advantage. And you flip the coin one time at tribal and it's either safe or not safe, immunity or you're vulnerable still.
Okay. So yes, it's an advantage, but it's a risky advantage.
Yeah, it's not guaranteed safety.
This came with a little extra thing. It's like, how much do you think this is worth? Right. And Parvati's like, we need food.
She's like, this is worth 4 tokens. Minimum.
4 tokens. And I know Michelle's got them. So let's sell it to Michelle. Like, she's got a whole business plan laid out on how they're going to get the most for this. advantage. And I'm
Absolutely.
like, what? I'm like, first off, this is not worth 4 tokens, but okay.
No.
Then it turns into like her and Danny were about to have like a private meal. But then
of peanut butter,
like
yes.
Rob and them come over and Barbara just couldn't do it. She was like, I couldn't.
She's like, we're all hungry. Okay, we found it. We found it, you guys. But we're going to sell it for 4 tokens. We're going to have 4 jars of peanut butter. Get ready.
Which is not bad. Like, honestly, if you're going to tell everyone and then everyone can eat, that's great.
Yeah. But I will say, I didn't not notice that Wendell and Yule were not in the group when they were telling them about this advantage and the 4 token sale. So to me, it's a little TBD if they're going to include Wendell and Yule in this like bounty of food that they're about to buy with all these tokens.
They're going to get their little mini feast. And then like poor Wendell and Yule are like, where is everybody?
Right. But I'm sort of like, I'm thinking at this point, like 4 tokens. Come on. Like this might be the first advantage that someone refuses from the edge of extinction. Because like, that's a lot of money.
Or I thought, well, now that they've told Rob and like other people, they'll be like, no. 2 to 3 tokens, Parvati. Yeah. Let's actually get it sold so we can eat.
Right.
I assume something like that might happen, but we'll find out.
Yes, right. Now after this
is reward.
Yes, for Chinese takeout.
Which finally this is our first reward, like actual reward challenge that they've put in the edit. Because the first few were like the combo of reward immunity.
Oh, yes. Right. Yeah. But this is the first one they
finally, this is like the full-on one that we've gotten in the episode. So I was very excited about that because also that means we get points, David. For our fantasy
Hello. Yeah. Okay. So they made it kind of a big deal about like the teams and who picked the team. So evidently Jeremy and Kim were the team captains. Mm-hmm. And I did notice that Kim kind of put together an all-women's team. I mean, Ben was on her team. But the rest were the women, and Jeremy put together an all-men's team.
Yep. And by first look, I was like, Kim's team is amazing.
I mean, hello.
I love Kim's team.
Yes, she's got Sophie and Michelle on the puzzle, which is so smart. And then you've got Sarah and Kim, who are both like super physically capable. They both won a lot of individual immunities on their seasons. Yeah. And then Ben is like, he's a solid guy. Like, that's a good team.
Right. I was very impressed with that team. Gotta say, why did no one pick Denise?
That was interesting. I'm like, is it the height differential? Are they worried something there? But like, I don't think that would have made a difference. Denise is very strong. Like, I don't know why she's sitting out. Yeah.
She is potentially going to win a ton of immunities. Like,
agreed.
She's always someone I want for challenges. Yes. It made me worried that like she's just on the outs, that people don't want to work with Denise.
It could be, yeah. Maybe they don't want to like give her any more fuel to win individual immunities, you know?
Right.
So she's got to sit out, no chance of reward, but they swim out and have to like lug these, you know, nets of fish on hooks and then lug the thing with the fish hanging from it to the puzzle. And again, like it always comes down to the puzzle, but Kim's team is in the lead for the whole time.
They are in the lead. And then you see Sophie and Michelle on the puzzle. And I'm like, of course, they have it all day, every day. Yeah. This is no question. So they tried they tried with the editing to make us seem like it was a competition. David. And then sure enough, the blue team, Michelle and Sophie pull it out. Yes, and they get reward. Yes. And then Sarah's like, hold up, Jeff.
I don't need it. I'm going to give it to Nick. Happy birthday, Nick.
She's like, can I switch out? But he's like, yes.
Yeah, right.
That's crazy, but yes. And then she's like, it's Nick's birthday. So, okay.
Yeah. And she's like, you know, go enjoy Chinese. And he's like, well, thanks. Like he kind of feels awkward. I mean, of course he's thrilled to be on reward, but he's kind of like, oh, okay. Like, thanks for the reward. And, you know, she's trying to play it off like, I'm just being a good person and we should all be good to each other. This has nothing to do with game. And nobody else is buying that.
No. Here's what's funny, David. I watched the show on TV Co. with my little TV Co community we got going on there. Hey, if anybody's on TV Co, come watch it with us. Yeah. And then we go to commercial break. And Diana, one of our patrons, was like, that was dumb of Sarah to play with her heart and like show emotions and make that decision. And I'm like, no. Strategy all day. Sarah would never. There must be a reason. Sarah wants to talk to Tony. Something like that. I'm having this whole debate. We come right back from commercial and Sarah's like, I just wanted to do a nice thing. Yeah. No game. And I was like,
no game. What? Yes. What? And then like reinforcing that, she sits down with Tony, who like Diana is like, why are you playing with your heart? Why are you playing emotionally? It only takes one dumb move on Survivor to get out of here. Like, why would you do that? And Sarah's like, honestly, like, I don't know. I wanted to be nice. Like, so I think she would have told Tony if it was any kind of strategy move. So that kind of confirms like this was just her being nice, which is kind of weird. Being nice.
Yeah. It is like to the camera when she's like, hey, this world could use a bit more of that. I'm like, yeah, Sarah, you go. Of course. Sure. We should all be nicer to everyone else. But you're playing a game
for $2 million.
Is making really good points. Cut to like Denise and Jeremy and them are like, no.
They're like, Sarah's got to go. Like,
get her
strategy all day long. So we're voting her out.
Like, oh my gosh, if this like lovely human moment is what gets her out, this is horrible.
I know. Well, then we go over and we do check in with the reward people eating their Chinese takeout. And of course, they're all like looking under the takeout boxes for clues. And then they're like, should we open all the fortune cookies? Yes, obviously we should. And we should read all these things. But they are for the most
all
part.
Doing this to get there.
Right. But they're all, I know. But they're all sort of like generic fortunes. Like there is one that said empty the purse and your heart fills or something like that. And I was like, well, that makes me think of fire tokens. And that's how Michelle took it as well.
Yes, because then we cut to Michelle's like, I'm gonna find this other thing. And I like open it up and boom, here is the 50-50 coin that Parvati and the people on the edge have sent to Michelle. For 4 tokens.
4 tokens. She's like, wow, that's steep.
She's like, that's all my tokens, which I'm pretty sure it was. She had 4 tokens.
That's correct. Yes.
And she's like, oh, I don't know, because it's not 100% an advantage.
No.
Hello.
It's a risk. Like you're paying 4 tokens to take a risk.
To possibly stand up in front of everyone at Tribal and be like, okay, I'm going to flip it. Oh, not safe. Okay. Never mind.
All right. Well.
Yeah.
But she ultimately decides to do it because she's like, well, I got these fortunes and it said I should, the purse empties and you should be ready to take a big step. And so I think the Survivor gods are speaking to me. I'm going to pay for it. And she's, tucks that advantage away into her bag. I don't know if that's going to work out for her, but now she's got
No. I feel like the fact that you get a fire token with your immunity win now, obviously people are bequeathing them to you. I did it. I went there. I said it. So I feel like there is like in the back of her head, she was like, I'll get more fire tokens. It's no big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and risk it for these 4 tokens. So the upside is Edge is about to be... eating like kings.
They're having their own merge feast over on the edge.
I hope they buy peanut butter and something else. I hope they can mix it up, something else. But and so now Michelle has her flippity-doo coin.
Her flippity-doo coin, yes. And she can use that until the final 7, which I thought was an important detail there.
Yeah.
So. Yep. Then we go to immunity. And as we saw in like some of the preview clips, it is that balancing on the triangle in the water. So there's like a lot of levels of difficulty here. This would be hard regardless. And now they're in like the ocean going back and forth. Yeah.
You put me on that little pyramid on solid ground and I'm like, oh, but now we've got waves. We've got, splashing. If someone falls off, you're moving the water. Yes.
Right.
So hard. So Michelle like falls out quickly. Then Denise.
Michelle's out first again. I did notice that. That's 2 immunities in a row that Michelle's out first. So we'll see if this is a trend. Yeah.
Don't become a war dog. Don't do it.
I know.
They step up on the next step. Tyson's out, Jeremy and Tony.
Right.
Then eventually we get up on the top level, which on one hand, I was like, it seems a little easier because you're not like scrunching your feet on these like side
you're not
things.
On the edge of your feet. You're like, fully standing on this platform, but it's like a very narrow thing. You're like feet front to back. Some people are standing sideways, so their feet or their toes are like hanging over the edge of the thing. It's not good. And then again, like with that music, that whatever song they commissioned for this season comes up, Winners at War,
we're coming for you.
You better be ready.
They enter, that guitar riff starts going, and you see them hunched over.
Right, it's like slow-mo close-ups of their faces.
Yes, I love it. It throws me a little bit every time because I'm like, what show am I watching? But then I'm like, oh yeah, this is how we do this season.
Yes. But
they fall off this top part so quickly. They're just like boom, boom, boom. Kim and Ben.
Final two. Yeah. And Kim, meanwhile, Kim's like, don't get distracted. Don't get distracted. And she's like talking to herself, and she's the only one that they're showing talking to herself. So I'm like, they're telling a story with Kim here, But when Sarah falls off next to Kim and then Sophie falls off, it was a lot of like choppy water on Kim's thing. And she's like still somehow managing to stay afloat. I was like, this lady's core strength is out of control. Like, how is she doing this?
She was my guess. I just feel like Kim has that perfect yogi body. And so she was my guess that she would have the core strength to hold on. But Ben looked good. He looked like he was just surfing. He was hanging in there. But editing always gives it away. And we got Kim as the winner.
She takes that immunity necklace. She almost forgets the fire token, but she does go back to grab the fire token.
It's like, what's a fire token? What?
Right. She's like, I don't need that. I just need the immunity necklace. So, and then she was probably so happy to have the immunity necklace at this when they get back to camp and all chaos breaks loose.
Well, of course, we start with easy vote, right? Nick or Adam. So easy, which we know is never going to happen, and it's never going to be that easy.
Right.
But what ensues is just crazy town.
Oh my God.
It went to Nick. Nick is like still a bit ticked off, right? And he's like, they're not giving me respect. They're not even letting me play with them. So I'm just going to mess it all up. So he's just straight making stuff up.
Yeah, right.
He tells Tyson that Sophie said his name. So now Tyson's like, what? And he's out there. Then that turns from Sophie's name to Sarah's name. They all take Sarah out.
Well, it's Adam who brings up Sarah's name, right? Because I think it is like Adam, Jeremy, Tyson are talking, maybe a couple other people. And Tyson is pitching like, what if we got Sophie? And Adam was like, I would much prefer Sarah. And Sarah gets wind of that. And then we get that fantastic confessional from her where she's like, brother, you do not throw my name out, because I don't know if you saw me play on Game Changers, but when you throw my name out, you go home. So this is not good news for you, buddy.
It's not good news for you, Adam, actually. You're not really in a place to be doing bold moves like that, unfortunately. Yeah. But it just like keeps going from there. It's like loopity loopity loop, which
oh my God.
This has been
Adam, it's Nick, it's Sarah, it's Tyson. It's like almost so many names are being brought up.
Yes, like probably half the names are being brought up. And we talked about this before. Like, we've learned these guys are so good that they're not going to settle on a name anyway. But now they're legitimately like, but we could also go after this person. Well, look at the power that one's throwing around. Oh, Adam can wrangle and change votes. Like, got to get him. Right. So like they see it all and they can't make a decision as well. So it's just a hodgepodge.
And at some point, it gets brought up that Ben and Sarah are too close. Maybe it was Adam who said that. So Ben goes investigating. And Ben and Adam have already had a complicated past on this show. Their relationship is rockier than Michelle and Wendell's. Yes. And Ben confronts Adam and he's like, so I heard that someone was saying that I'm too close to Sarah. And Adam's like, so many people are saying that. Yes. And he's like, who? And he's like, and Adam totally fumbles the ball here and cannot come up with a convincing, just say anybody's name. It doesn't matter. Like, but the fact that you're like grasping at straws, and stumbling over yourself and not giving an answer, Ben has the information he needs now. And so he's just walking away. Adam's trying to run after him saying, no, don't go. I'll tell you. And it's just like, the damage has been done, Adam.
Oh, gosh. I mean, yes, like you said, their relationship is complicated. It has been since they were working with Rob weeks and weeks ago. But first off, I was like, Ben, zip it. Why are you going to Adam? Stop it. Like, Ben loves to talk. Like, he can't just get information and be like, yeah, let's vote out Adam. No, he has to go to Adam and be like, oh, you saying my name, huh? And it's just like, no. And then, of course, Adam doesn't lie well. And so Ben's like, oh, I get it. I mean, it's just like, oh, goodness, which just continues into tribal.
Oh, my God. Yes. I mean, the perfect thing, like, it was... just to describe this whole camp scenario was, then all the names are getting thrown around. And then I think someone goes up to Jeremy and says Tyson or something. And he legit goes,
he just like laughed. Yeah. Oh, there was one soundbite where he laughed and he was like, what? Yeah. And then they circle back about Tyson and he's like, what? Because obviously Jeremy's not voting Tyson. Like he's working with Tyson. He's like, what is happening? Also, Jeremy like hasn't moved from that spot. Like literally everyone is going around and then they just come. Jeremy's still right here. And then they like,
just circle back to Jeremy and he's like, a new name? Are you serious? Like he is just stunned that like this is the state of camp.
It was so funny. And I was like, my notes, I couldn't even keep up. I was like, oh, I'm so lost. Okay.
But like we have no idea. Yes, we have no idea like where the vote lies going into tribal. They've done an amazing job in the edit of confusing us. But Adam, we do get a soundbite from him. He's ready to go for that live idol. If he needs to. He knows that Fleur-de-Lis is there on the podium.
There. And I'm like, yes, you are, Adam.
Go for it.
Let's go. Now, it starts out with a little feisty Nick being like, if this is winners at war, this is the saddest war ever. Like, he's real
pitiful.
feisty.
Yeah, right.
And then the little whispers start. Little whispers here and there start. And then that turns to people getting up and moving around. Yes. Now we got more talking. And then
Jeff is like, Adam, he's like trying to ask Adam a question. And Adam is totally distracted. And he's like, I'm just trying to pay attention to what's happening. And Jeff's like, no, I get it. Do your thing. And that's like, when people are up out of their seats all over the place.
No one's listening to you, Jeff. Like other things are happening. But all of the sudden, it is now Ben and Adam having a complete public lover spat in front of everybody. Just, it literally was like information from back in the day when they first were working together.
They're rehashing their whole relationship.
Yes.
Like Adam's accusing Ben of wanting to work with Rob. And have I ever written your name down? No. Well, have I ever written your name down? And it's just.
It is straight.
It's them like this.
Like that. Meanwhile, everyone else is still talking. They are all still talking about, I'm assuming, the game and who they're voting for, while Ben and Adam are just like, I was gonna work with you. I'm not gonna work with you now. I think people don't want to work with me because of what you're saying. It's like, I mean, the jury was like, where's the popcorn? They were like, what is happening right now?
Yes.
This is madness.
Like you said, Ben and Adam are just yelling at each other while everyone else is actually strategizing and discussing and like getting their votes settled, presumably. And what was interesting about this scene to me is that there are a lot of individual relationships, right? Like you see Sarah talk to Kim and then you see Sophie talk to Kim and then you see Michelle talk to Jeremy and then you see Jeremy talk to Tony. There's not a lot of group discussion. So it just feels like there are a lot of little individual relationships here, but it doesn't feel like there's maybe a rock solid alliance because like everybody's questioning everybody, right? Are you changing your vote? No. Okay, we're all good. Like it's just chaos.
Yes. We do see Adam saying, I think it was to Tony, right? Like, what's the vote? What's the vote? Tony's like,
what's your vote?
What's your vote? Adam's like, it doesn't matter what my vote is. Who are you voting for? And Tony's like, that's not how it works. It does matter. I was just like,
He's like, Adam, we all go up to the thing and we got to write down the vote and we put it in the urn and then Jeff brings it down and he reads the votes. Like, your vote matters. Like, this is how it works. And Adam's like, I know that's how
Tony
it works.
telling people how to play Survivor is endlessly funny.
Yes.
But then before we go vote, Adam says one last thing of like,
God,
it's either me or Nick, or did he throw out a third name?
Or somebody else?
Yeah. And then just silence. And the editors bumped up the volume of the fire.
Right.
Crackling.
They may have added a crackling sound effect there just for drama because it was crickets, like nothing.
Hilarious. He's literally looking down. They give us this
and
great
people are
shot.
like,
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing from
Nobody's
anyone.
giving you anything, Adam. And so then Adam's like, okay, I guess we're ready to vote.
Oh my gosh. That was such a good primer for what's about to happen because I'm already like.
I mean, this is like already Adam's episode and we're not even done, right? So we go to vote, and the only vote that we actually see is Adam voting for Sarah.
Uh-huh.
We see a little bit from Denise, like from the back, saying like craziest tribal, but we don't see any other votes. We come down and Jeff asks if anybody has an immunity.
Okay. We knew it was coming. We knew it. It was in the edit. They prepped us for this. And all I can think is like, yes, 100% Adam. Please try to play the fleur-de-lis on the podium. But also part of me was like, is this going to be a real idol?
Like, what if it works?
I'm like, this is season 40. It's Winners of War. I'm not putting anything past the producers here. This could very well be an idol, even though this is ridiculous.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, like, good for Adam for considering this, right? Like, for looking at all of his surroundings, the whole game. Like,
absolutely.
He's like, this is so true to him as a player, like considering every angle, thinking about every option, being so observant, watching everything. Like, this is so Adam to do something like this. And he gets up out of that chair and he scurries over and you see everybody's face drop. Like, what's happening? They're like craning their necks, trying to see what he's doing. And he starts to jiggle that thing. Pulling it up.
Our first clue is it's not coming up.
It's not moving. Yeah.
It is sealed in there. It is welded it down or something. And he's just jiggle. And Jeff is just such a professional.
He's like sitting back. Like, now he's the one with the popcorn, right? Just like, keep going, Adam. Yes.
He's just like, what, okay, what are you doing? Yeah, okay, I'm going to let you do it. And
he just checking out that podium?
He's just jiggle, working. And honestly, like a couple jiggles, and I think that's it. But no, Adam keeps going. Adam is full on trying to rip the podium apart.
Yes. He's like, Jeff, do you have like a knife or something? Like, he's just really trying to extract this fleur-de-lis from the podium. And it's not happening.
I was in tears at this point. I was loving every second of it. And like at one point, I'm sure Adam was like, I just have to commit because here I am. Like, I've done it. I've tried to go for this.
Yes.
Really was hoping it was a thing. And Jeff's like, you thought this was an idol?
This thing that's attached to the podium you couldn't get off? And Adam's like, yes, I would like to play that. And Jeff, like, consummate pro, right? He is like, that is not an idol. It's not an idol. Nope. Sorry, Adam. And like I said before, like, this is the completion of the arc, right? Of Adam fiddling with the torch. He can't get the lid on. There was even a moment where he was looking around the voting booth to see if anything was there. So that was setting us up for this. Yes. Like, it was so well done. So good. Yes. Now it all made sense to me why they took the time in the edits to make these cute little Adam moments, because he was going to be going out on this note. And you guys, this was beautiful entertainment, but like, you got to try everything. And that's who Adam is at his
core. He will scramble and try anything and everything, and that includes trying to play a piece of set decoration like it was an idol. Yep. And it was brilliant. It was amazing. It did not save him. The votes were not in his favor.
No. And okay, so I need to know how these votes fall, right? I know that they didn't show them. CBS will eventually post like how
they'll go up later tonight. Yeah.
But I think how these votes fall is going to tell us a lot about where people stand in the game. Obviously, the one vote for Sarah we know was Adam. Yeah. And then it was 3 votes for Nick. I need to know who those 3 people are, and the rest were for Adam. So whoever those 3 people are, they're on a different page from everyone else, and that is going to really give us a picture of like who's in and who's out.
I don't know. I don't know if they're really on a different page. I feel like, I mean, it's possible. I just feel like there was a split the vote situation. I feel like there were so many options that they really kind of came back to the Nick or Adam thing. It really came back to like either one. And originally they were going to split the votes. Then as things changed so much that I feel like it probably came down to a few people being like, I'm going to go Nick, I'm going to go Adam. And they're like, great, either one, who cares? So I don't know. I hear what you're saying. Absolutely. Because I do feel like, you know, it is like 2 and 3 people working together here and there who they feel the most comfortable with. But I don't know if it's really like huge division
that cut
lines.
And dry. Yeah, I hear that. But
I don't know.
I still want to know. Know like who voted for who.
I would have to guess that it goes back to that original conversation. Who was it? It was like Kim,
Denise. Tony, Ben, I think was the 4 like, that we're talking
probably, I think Ben voted Adam out. I think we can say that.
Obviously Nick did, yes.
So I think that it was probably the Kim, Denise went the Nick route.
Yeah, maybe.
But they probably were okay with Adam going.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know. That's just my guess. But yes, we will find those votes out.
Yeah. I mean, Adam has been shifty the whole game. That's kind of how he plays. He's not always in on the vote. He doesn't always know how things are going to go, but he like scrambles and finds his way through. That's how he won his season. But it finally kind of caught up with him. You know, people have been saying for weeks that they don't trust him. Yeah. And so they finally were like, yeah, we got to take this shot and just get him out of here.
He gave his token to Denise.
Yep. He says, even if you blindsided me, I'm going to give you this token. Good luck.
Yeah. And he said something like the rest of you guys can whatever. Something. Yeah. He's like, screw the rest of you guys, whatever.
Right.
Oh, wow. And I have to imagine Edge of Extinction is just like, oh boy, here comes Adam.
We saw a little bit where they were like, nice try with that.
It was a good try.
Thing. He was like, I had to try. And I like,
we did.
Listen, as much fun as we are having with this, like, he had to try. Like, I don't fault him at all. Like, it ended up being a very silly moment, but not a bad game move, in my opinion. You got to try every option to try to save yourself in this game.
Absolutely. And I mean, for a second, I was like, what if this is an idol? Like,
yeah. Right.
You just never know with an epic season like this. You just never know. And you have to try everything. But yeah, unfortunately, Adam had been trying to dig himself out of a hole for a few weeks and it just really wasn't working.
Yeah.
So it was just his time to go. But boy, was he entertaining this season.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
I quite enjoyed it.
Quite enjoyed. Yes. Now, in the preview for next week, we see a little bit of, we got to split up Sarah and Sophie, which I don't necessarily want that because I like them as a duo, but I'm not surprised that that's now coming up because they are a good duo. We see a little talk about blindsiding Jeremy, which I'm also not surprised to hear come up. We see Kim is talking to Denise about she's ready to make a big move. I'm not surprised to see that. Like, we're sort of settling into things that make sense, you know, like with this cast of characters.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, they're seeing who's really running stuff, and Sophie's absolutely a threat and should be a target. Same thing with Jeremy. I mean, also Sarah, but I feel like Sarah is somewhat protected. I kind of feel like Jeremy is too, but maybe not. Maybe it's time to start unprotecting these people. So I don't know. I want Sophie to go well and Michelle to go well because they're my last two on my fantasy team.
Wait, was Adam on yours?
No, Adam is on Elaine's.
Okay.
Do you have Kim?
Yeah, I've got Kim, so I get that immunity point.
You get immunity. Kim. I got two reward. I got two people on reward.
Yeah.
So I got that.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. I might be able to pull ahead of Elaine this week. We'll see.
You might be, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she finally lost somebody. That's shocking.
I know. But fun episode. Like this was just such a
good,
funny episode. You know, like I feel like they always have some like funny ones, and this was a really good one. Like that storyline was so great.
It was. And then I also really loved the whole like Parvati finding the advantage and selling it. Like I want to see positivity for her and some people on edge, like they're starving over there. So this was an amazing, so much fun episode. And I just like, thank you for the laughs.
I know.
We all need it right now. Come on.
It's true. Yeah.
It was a really good distraction tonight.
Absolutely. Yep.
So we will be back on Monday, as always, to dive into, other interviews and things that we've learned. We'll talk about the votes because we'll know them by then. Yep. So join us on Monday. And you guys, tell us how you felt about all of this.
Please, yes.
Oh my gosh. Did you love this comical edit as much as we did?
Yes. And where do you think they should go next? Like, who do you think the next target should be? I'm curious to know what you think about that.
I know it's hard for me to even pick targets now. Because it's like,
absolutely. I know. Such a good
so good. All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us in the chat. Thank you, mods, for keeping us in line. We appreciate it.
We do.
And we will see you guys on Monday.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
See you on Monday.